Thank you for listening to SPN, the Savage Podcasting Network.
Since its opening in 2015, Faro Restaurant has been one of Idyllwild's leading restaurants, applauded for both its gracious service and casual take on fine dining. Nestled in the heart of the beautiful alpine village of Idyllwild, California, Faro is more than just great food and elegant surroundings. It's a treasure destination not to be missed. Faro Restaurant, an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema. It's Italian, elevated.
It's cool, it's hip, and it's where Idyllwild goes for burgers, fries, sub-sandwiches, ice cream, and more. Atomic Cow, downtown Idyllwild, California. Official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema. Fast, fierce, and filmmaker friendly. Be there or be square. Atomic Cow.
You're listening to The Stephen Savage Show on the Savage Podcasting Network. And now, here's your host, film and television director, Stephen Savage.
Thank you, Nicole. How you doing, everybody? Savage here with you for yet another episode of The Stephen Savage Show, the official podcast of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, which is right smack in the middle of its 17th year, and so far we are setting records for attendance, and it's proving to be the biggest Idyllwild festival yet, and all the local innkeepers, Airbnbs, and hotels are telling us that they've been booked out for weeks, so that's a good sign. So congrats to the team, the organizers, our ambassadors, and everyone involved in putting this event together each and every year. And I'm, of course, the founder and director of the festival, but I am in no way the driving force behind this thing. When I started this 17 years ago, I thought I'd be lucky to get 3 seasons out of it, but then our executive producer, Trinity Houston, came forward with her team at IM3 Global, and the rest is history. So we've just been named the fastest growing film festival in California, which is a good thing. So anyway, as usual, we're coming to you from Cranium Wheel Studios at Chateau Esteban in the beautiful alpine village of Idyllwild, California, just a couple hours east of Los Angeles, but a world away at nearly 6,000 feet, high atop a majestic Mount San Jacinto and overlooking the great Coachella Valley. And just a reminder that this show, like the Idyllwild Cinema Festival itself, is completely non-corporate, and all of our sponsors are actual businesses local to Idyllwild, California, including our official lodging sponsor, the Talk Eats Pines Retreat, Idyllwild's premier venue for weddings, family reunions, romantic getaways, just about any large or small gathering or event. So if you're coming to Idyllwild for the film festival or at any time during the year, you owe it to yourself to check out the many charming cabins and cottages that make up this amazing mountain venue. Check them out today and book your Idyllwild Film Festival lodging at talkeatspines.com. That's TAHQUITZ, Talk Eats Pines Retreat. Okay, let's get things going here. We have a few filmmakers and other guests coming into the studio this week, but to start things off, we have one of our 2026 Spotlight filmmakers zooming in for a chat, as she won't be able to come to California for the festival, but I think she's a voice that needs to be heard, as her short film, The Oldest, has garnered some good awards nominations and ranked very high among our judges and submissions committee and their scoring cards. So we've arranged to have her on today via a Zoom call. She's a renowned Texas-based photographer as well as a filmmaker, and someone I just felt my audience would appreciate hearing from. So let me introduce to my listeners Ms. Cathlin McCullough. Cathlin, thanks for coming onto the show. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Listening to you talk about Idyllwild makes me more upset than I already was that I won't be there.
I'm sorry to hear that, and I'm sorry you're not going to be here, mostly because you've just done an amazing job with this film. And as I said, our grand jury, my main job is I'm a liaison between our very well-known grand jury and the festival, and they've been talking about your movie, and so I just thought it was important that we have you on, which is why I reached out to you. So I really appreciate you coming on. Where
Thank
in
you for having me. Yeah.
where in Texas are you calling from?
I'm in Austin.
Nice.
I went to grad school here for something totally unrelated to film or my job now.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with Austin a long time ago, left for a while, and then came back.
Well, it's a good place to come back to. If you're gonna, I think Austin's a cool town. I've been there a few times, but you've been to some other film festivals with the oldest, right? Am I wrong? I think, but is this the California premiere? I guess that's my question.
I No, it's actually playing one day prior at the Golden State Film
Oh,
Festival.
nice, good.
And I had really hoped to go to both of them because
Hmm.
they're one day apart, and I thought that would make a great trip, and it would have. But couldn't make it. My one of my producers is going to be there though.
Oh,
Yasmin.
fantastic,
Yeah,
good.
they'll be there to the Friday showing of The Oldest. So
And will they be there for the Sunday award ceremony? That's the important thing because I just have a feeling you guys, you might walk away
uh,
with something.
I don't think they can be there, unfortunately, unless does that impact our chances of winning an award?
No, it's we don't like giving out awards to empty seats, but your film is pretty special, and the fact is, I'm going to be one of the hosts of the award ceremony, and I'd be happy if you were to win anything. I would be happy to accept it for you, especially after this interview. Getting to know you a little bit, I'd have no problem doing that at all.
Okay, please do. I'm still there's like a 1% chance I can make it out there. I'm not holding my breath, but please accept any awards that we would be lucky enough to get.
Sure, I'd be glad to do that. We're just, it's we're not a stuffy big red carpet kind of film festival. We're growing and growing so much, and because of our proximity to Los Angeles, we're a very well-known festival, but we don't put on airs, and there are no limousines or anything. It's pretty casual, and so for me to accept an award for you would not be a big thing, so I don't mind doing that at all. What are the origins of the film? You're the writer and director, so I'm assuming the original concept was all yours, but how and from where did the story come about?
This is a personal story based on my childhood. It's fiction in that, it's a memory. So I had I had an image in my head that's in the film that I couldn't shake, and I have a creative contract with myself that if I have an idea as a photographer before this, if I have an idea that won't leave me, and
Hmm.
it doesn't matter if I don't understand it or it makes no sense, but if it keeps showing up, then I need to follow through with that idea. And this, I could see the picture of the five kids in the car. And at first I thought it was a photograph because I'm a photographer. Really, I think it was a childhood memory that was coming back to me, and I started journaling about it. And I did have a little known desire at the time to do more directing. I had directed commercially once, but I wanted to get into filmmaking. I hadn't really told anyone about it, and it kind of felt crazy, like one of those things like, well, I switched careers into photography. I already did that. That was really hard. Now you're going to become a filmmaker. How are you going to do that? Right.
All right.
So, but it became clear as I was writing about it that what I was seeing was not a still picture. It was a moving image. And I just wrote and wrote. I mean, I wrote enough, honestly, for a feature length film. It's not all together in the way I'd want the story. It's more like scenes.
Hmm.
Um, and then Yasmin and I connected over Instagram, and at a meeting, they're the first person I told that I wanted to make a film. And they said, it's not that hard. I've made a film. I'm making my second film. I'll help you. And they said it in such a positive, encouraging, friendly way that it just gave me the confidence, and the support, honestly, to do it. And so that's how it started. It took me about 4 years though from the time I initially started writing about. I had seen the picture even before that in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
but from the time I started writing it, and I also I'm very stubborn, and I had set ideas in my mind about what I wanted this film to look like. It had to be made in Iowa. That's where I'm from. It's where the film takes place. And it was serving as a love letter to Iowa. My dad passed away during, before I filmed, but after writing it.
Mm-hmm.
And we sold his house. So it was also an excuse for me to go back to Iowa and make something meaningful and kind of it's my love letter to Iowa as well as being a personal story. And so I also was very adamant about shooting on 16 millimeter film, which
Mm-hmm.
um, in that same meeting with Yasmin, they said, this really shouldn't be your first film. It's going to be really hard. You want to shoot it in another state on film. It's a period piece. You need to find an 80s sports car where someone's going to let you have a kid drive it, and then you want to stick 5 kids in a hot car with no AC all day on a gravel road in Iowa. And I just said, this is the film. This is the film I have to make. This is how I need to do it.
Good for you. Good.
That is a long-winded answer to
you,
your.
You have my complete support, and now I love the movie even more. Filmmakers are like, what do they say? Bumblebees aren't supposed to fly. They're not aerodynamically set up to fly, but somebody forgot to tell the bumblebees.
Oh, I love that. That is how it felt a lot. I mean, I faced a lot of obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be shot in the summer, and I thought I was going to do it in 2023. I thought I was ready. And then it turns out a few things couldn't get lined up in time. And there's a very short window in the summer in Iowa where it would look the way I wanted it to look. And then I had, a key to this film, I'm sure you'll agree, is the lead actor, Mira Wallace.
Mm-hmm. I was going to talk about her in a minute, but go ahead.
Yeah, I found her, and she was perfect for the role. And I didn't want, she aged up a little bit in 1 year's time when we finally did film in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, this is the person. I've got about a year. I've got to make it work with her. I mean, once it's the same way with photography. When you have that connection with someone and they're just right for the role and they're perfect and they're good. And she had the depth that I was looking for. I got audition tapes. I reached out to different casting agencies in Illinois, Minneapolis, Des Moines, and I was getting more of like commercial actors and modelly types.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually a high school student, a friend's son, who was connected to the Des Moines young, I guess, youth theater groups. And they put out the call for me. So it turned out to be a high school student that was a fantastic casting help on this. Shout out to Hudson Pulver. So, when you find the right person, finding Mira really made it feel real. I mean, especially when it's a personal story and you're looking for someone to play yourself as a 12-year-old, it has to feel right. You have to feel connected to the person. And I'm so glad I found her.
Yeah, I remembered her name right off the bat because it's so much like Mia Wallace from Pulp Fiction, the character.
Oh, right.
But it was easy for me to remember her. But I was really impressed with her. It's never really easy directing kids, especially, but younger adults even. But the collaboration you guys had together, you did a great job with her. And she's absolutely amazing in the film. And as soon as I watch, I don't watch a lot of the films, but I see toward the end of voting, the films that really, get high marks, especially among the grand jury. And so this was one of the films I had to check out. And I was just impressed with her right off the bat. But as a fellow director, it doesn't go past me that you're part of that collaboration. Her performance is directly tied to your performance as a director. So I think you did a great job with her, and she is phenomenal. I'd work with her in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she'd love to hear that. She's busy in Des Moines acting in plays, so the work with her was with any theater actor, especially for a child, was to teach them about how much more subtle film is and how you need to communicate. I'm even in my photography, I want to get up close. I want, I guess the best advice, she might not even, who knows what the best advice I gave her was. I am not an actor, so I was very honest that I don't know the best way to direct an actor from an actor's standpoint. I can just do it from all the experience I've had as a photographer. And I think it did help when I finally said, it has to be really subtle and try to think about communicating it with your eyes, not with, you don't need grand gestures or giant body movements or dramatic vocal tone. It's more like, how can your face show what you're thinking? And she had worked with an acting coach, Sydney Perrick, a couple times leading up, and I'm sure that helped as well.
Well, also the fact that it's a semi-autobiographical film, you knew what you wanted to get basically out of yourself as a character, so that probably helped a little too. But it is nice to have an actor, especially a young actor, who's mature enough to take on material like this and make it work. So kudos again. What you hit on it very briefly, but I want to go over it a little bit more. What is your film background? I know you kind of stumbled into it, so you're not the product of film school exactly, but where did your love of filmmaking come from? I'm assuming your photography played a big part in it.
Yeah, I'm a storyteller. So the medium, I'm a visual storyteller. I see in pictures, I see visually. And I love people. I'm photograph people. That's my primary subject as a photographer. And I love telling stories. In college, I was roommates with a bunch of film majors. I had zero interest in filmmaking at the time. So it's really funny to me. They probably think it's funny too. And I've always loved film. So I've had the photography side in my job. As a photographer, I now realize I do more directing than people would probably realize. You look at a lot of my work and it does look, photo documentary style, but I'm after something, whether it's in film or photography, and it's in my favorite films, and that's like, how does it feel to be a human? How does it feel to be alive? And how does it feel to have all these big emotions? And when I take a photo of somebody, I want it to feel raw, honest, vulnerable. Like, I want to see into beneath like that wall everybody puts up. I want to see the layers of the person. And that's partly what I want to do with filmmaking, is just connect to other people through this magical storytelling that you get to do when you make a film. And I can't say that I even understand it exactly, except I started hearing this small voice that said, you know what, I think you should direct. I think you'd be good at directing. And then a client asked me to do it on a photo shoot. So I hired a cameraman, and that was for a brand, and we were doing it. I was doing stills while he was doing video. So I had to do the directing mostly in advance, right? and I really loved it. And I would say as a filmmaker, I I was born as a filmmaker from this story. I mean, when I tell you I had to do this and it made no sense financially, it made no sense logistically. People probably looked at me like, she doesn't have experience. Why should she be directing it? Why should she do it on film, you know? But it was that the creative engine inside me was so loud that said, you have to do this. You cannot, you just have to. You don't have to understand it. You just have to make it. I do think it was probably cathartic, to some degree, making sense of some childhood memories and a difficult childhood. But I think it was really important to me as well to tell a story that I never saw on screen. And I never saw, it's different now a little bit, but the inner life of a girl and a complex inner life of a girl was never really shown. And I didn't feel like I had anyone on a screen to relate to as a little kid, other than like the boys in Stand By Me. I mean, that's one of the films. This is, you might not be able to tell, but that would be an inspiration. That film's one of my favorite films. It was one of the first films I fell in love with. And it's because I saw boys at that time, right? That's how old I am, going through they had difficult home lives. They had emotions. They were trying to hide those emotions from their friends. They had this camaraderie. They went on an adventure. That I saw boys doing that, but there were not films at the time where girls were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well,
so
it's really sad that you're not coming to the film festival now, because one of our grand jury members, and she comes every year, is a friend of mine, Faye Brenner. Started off as a famous script supervisor, and she was the script supervisor on Stand By Me. And she has so many great stories about that movie. And yeah, someday maybe
someday,
yeah, she's pretty amazing. But yeah, I'm going to go back a little bit to shooting on film. Actually shooting on film, and it always surprises me, because I thought, there's a lot of big filmmakers still shoot on film, Tarantino, Spielberg, all that, but I love shooting on film. Shot my first real budgeted and big cast feature film on 35 millimeter, and Super 16 is such a great medium. But how in this day and age were you, outside of Los Angeles, able to find people crew members who know how to work film, like film loaders alone? They're few and far between anymore,
yeah, that's a really great question. One of the more difficult parts of this film was that, in coming into Iowa, other than the production designer and stylist, who's a old childhood friend,
Mm-hmm.
Jen McDonald. She's a friend. I knew her. Other than her, I was coming into a group in Iowa who didn't know me from Adam, right? They didn't know me. They didn't know my work. And I had part of the job was building trust and making relationships in
Mm-hmm.
Iowa, but I didn't have any favors to pull there, right? So
Right.
I fundraised to pay the crew, etc. And when I first approached Bruce, who's the DP, I asked him about shooting on film. And the truth is, at the time, he had some experience, but not a ton, and maybe a lesser DP wouldn't have taken it on. However, I'm a film photographer.
Mm-hmm.
I trust film a lot.
I thought
Like,
that's what the thing was, that you shoot a lot of actual film in your photography, so that's how that came about.
yeah, and it's I also had to trust Bruce, right?
Mm-hmm.
So finding people who, I don't know, I'm willing to bet on people and I'm willing to trust people. And Bruce is a great cinematographer, and one of the things we did was do some test roles. And then he has a great team in Iowa. There are a number of people there. So there is a film loader there, but I had to get my equipment from Minneapolis. And one of the reasons the whole thing is actually not 16 millimeter, part of it is video.
Mm-hmm.
I had to concede that because there's not even a process trailer that exists in the state of Iowa. Um, so it just got to be exponentially much more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's shot something in a car knows how much more time rigging a car is, and we didn't have a process trailer, which we would have needed for the 16 millimeter camera, because it's a lot heavier. And so in the end, I just decided that I could concede that. It was hard for me at first, but I could concede it because we ended up making her real life, her stressful life, her home life being video, and then nature and her escape and all those, the dream sequence was all film. So we did in 2023, we did a number of test rolls of film, and we ended up using some of that in the final product. And that was kind of a way, I mean, this took a lot longer than other people might take to make a film, but that's one way to do it, right? Is do some test rolls, see how you work with the people, see how they do. And the team in Iowa was fantastic. There are people, Bruce just shot a feature in Iowa with like Mina Savari is the actor. Like there's stuff happening in Iowa. Liz Toll, she has come from like the Atlanta film scene, but she's originally from Iowa, back in the area. Ton of experience. Andrew Peterson, first AC, like they all brought a lot of experience. And so I think people would be surprised about these smaller communities, wherever you can find people who love filmmaking. And now with video content being so prevalent everywhere, there's a lot of commercial work going on everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it did take more time though.
It's you have to go looking, but there are people everywhere. A lot of people are just getting out of Los Angeles and going to other places, but they're still making film. So no matter where you go, but I was more talking about just shooting actual film stock. It's getting harder and harder to do. And I've got to tell you, now that I know, I kind of suspected that there was some HD going on, but whoever was your color corrector and whatever you guys did in editing, it was really hard to tell. And another thing that you talked about was being able to adapt to a situation and not just saying, okay, we've got to do this. You made it work within the framework of the context of the film by saying, okay, when we do shoot video, we're going to give it a look that will kind of offset the rest of the movie. So let's make it where when she's in a stressful situation or she's not in the best situation, it's going to be video. And the car stuff, you did a great job. I mean, and I've done helicopter stuff, airplane stuff, and it's just
wow.
Sometimes you go, it's so much easier to get an HD camera in here than than a film camera. So, but again, my favorite indie filmmakers are the ones who are able to adapt like that and just come up with a way to make it work for them and to work for the plot and for the overall look and presentation of the film. And so, yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from, and I appreciate it. The script is really pretty amazing, but I'm always wondering with writer-directors like myself, are you into the writing more, or is directing really your thing, or both? I have a love-hate relationship with writing, but directing is something I'm always up for. But where do you stand on that?
I'm definitely a better director than I am a writer. And I have a lot to learn on both fronts, so that's saying something. But I used to do some writing a long time ago, never script writing. Script writing is a whole new beast. It's hard. I mean, anyone who says differently, I think it's just hard. And I like directing so much. I'm looking for my next project. I would direct other people's work. I have not written my next thing yet. I feel like I have a little bit of a writer's block, and I think I just need to sit down and start writing. But I would jump into directing something else in a heartbeat.
Well, this has been fun. I really appreciate, again, you coming on. I just really enjoyed the film, and I think that there's a feature in there. If you're not looking for another project, I'd say dive into that because you have the nucleus here for something pretty special.
Yeah, this is a sensitive subject, as you can imagine, among my family. And that added an extra layer to this that I don't know if I want to take on for a feature. But I have thought about that world and the world that we built and the story that's there. Maybe it's close to my story or something, but just takes the, putting some childhood trauma on screen for everyone else to see. It's not an easy thing to do. So that thought does keep kind of coming up as a question for me, though, because I could see it as well.
Yeah.
So thanks for seeing it.
Yeah, it's obvious that there is a feature there. So it's just a matter of you figuring out that you want to do it, and you may not, but it is definitely there. Well, I want to thank Cathlin McCullough for calling in today about her film, The Oldest. And what are your screening times and days? You said a couple of people from your crew can be there. What venue are you screening at?
Oh, I am sorry. I don't know the answer because I'm not going to be able to be there. I didn't pay attention to the details. I do know for sure Friday, and I don't know which venue.
That's okay, just so everybody knows that, because everyone is going to listen in before the screening time. So
yeah, so that's the 6th, I think. And
So,
it's earlier in the day, and then I know there's another screening day before that, earlier in the week, and that's the one I'm not sure of.
Gotcha. So, well, everybody will have the program in their hand. Look out for The Oldest, and screening at Idyllwild 2026 this week. All right. Again, Cathlin McCullough, everyone, and her film, once again, is The Oldest. Thanks again for calling in, Cathlin.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back with one of our special in-studio guests after this word from some of our local Idyllwild sponsors.
The Riverside County Film Commission and the Riverside County Economic Development Agency are proud to sponsor the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema. With a region of over 7,300 square miles, the Riverside County Film Commission works closely with all 28 cities located within its borders, as well as state and federal agencies, to help streamline your production and ensure its success, assisting with everything from permitting in all jurisdictions to finding just the right locations for your shoot and many other production necessities. Riverside County, the perfect fit for your next film production.
Did you know the Art Alliance of Idyllwild is a nonprofit organization with a mission of creating community through art? Hi, I'm Paige, artist member, board member, and treasurer of the Art Alliance of Idyllwild. Our vision is to enhance our community through creativity, art education, exhibition, and artistic excellence. There are 4 ways to help. Become a member, make a tax-deductible donation, attend our events, follow us on Instagram, and like and share our posts. You can find us at Art Alliance of Idyllwild on Instagram and at artinidyllwild.org.
Every small town has that one special spot, a place where strangers become friends and friends share great times together. Idyllwild, California has just that spot, Terrence Place Pub and Gallery, where live music and good company create amazing memories. We feature fine wines along with international and domestic tap beers. Our vibe is welcoming, fun, and eclectic. Terrence Place Pub and Gallery is proud to be an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema. Come and experience the alpine charm of Terrence Place, located in the Village Lane in downtown Idyllwild, California. We invite you to stop by and have a great time.
No small mountain village would be complete without its favorite local breakfast spot. And the Red Kettle restaurant in Idyllwild, California is just that place. As Idyllwild's premier downtown breakfast and lunch restaurant, the Red Kettle is exactly what you'd expect. Great food, friendly service, and quaint small town charm, the Red Kettle is the heart of Idyllwild's village life. And as an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, all festival badge wearers are treated to a 10% discount on every order. The Red Kettle restaurant, Idyllwild, California. Home-style cooking all year round.
Looking for great Mexican cuisine in Idyllwild, California? Look no further than La Casita, Idyllwild's #1 spot for authentic Mexican fare, serving up both traditional and north-of-the-border specialties. La Casita is also famous for its great beer and wine selection, and the best margaritas to be found anywhere. La Casita, an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Film Festival, and simply the best Mexican food around.
And we are back, and I have one of my homies in the studio today. First of all, one of my cast members from my upcoming film Monkey Grip. She plays one of the lead females. That would be Ms. Kobe Connell is here.
Hello, hello.
And Kobe is with Cash, the wonder dog, who's been the hit of the festival so far. He's been pretty amazing. He's nobody is bothered by him, thank God.
Hasn't bitten anybody yet.
That's right. And I don't know. He's what can I say about Cash? He's just an amazing. The wonder dog is the way to. So he travels everywhere with Kobe and yeah. So anyway, welcome, Cash.
Thank you.
Got a word to say, buddy? No. I guess not. And our main in-studio guest for this episode, actually there are three of them. They're here today, and they've come to Idyllwild for the 2026 season, all the way from Liverpool, to talk about their film, That Girl, which is screening at Idyllwild. And the writer and director of the film, David Crowley, wasn't able to make the trip over, but fortunately for us, the lead actress of the film, Matilda Brooks-Jones, and her mom and producer of the movie, Dr. Lorna Brookes, they're both here along with a very special friend of theirs who's part of their movie as well. Olivia, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm from Liverpool, and I was a consultant on this movie, That Girl. One of the consultants. There was four of us, so yeah.
That's good. That's just short and sweet, Olivia. Just
last night to the point from Liverpool. I am quite short and sweet, aren't I?
Last night we couldn't shut her up. Today she's just.
I'll be all right in a minute.
Kidding.
Give me a little 5 minutes to break it in.
She'll warm up.
Then you'll be telling me to be quiet.
Ladies, welcome and thanks for coming into the podcast. How was the trip over from Liverpool?
Oh my God.
Long. That's a podcast in its own right. It was long. It was 3 flights.
One which was 10.5 hours long.
Yeah, that's long enough.
No, it was too long. I think I crashed out at one point.
Yeah.
I think I was debating the whole thing. I was like, how
debating your life choices.
Honestly.
What am I doing here?
Honestly.
But we made it. That's the main thing.
Treat it as practice for your 15-hour Australian flight.
I can't wait. Exactly. Cannot wait for that. So excited.
So anyway, I am glad that you guys are here, and I'd like to talk about the film, That Girl. And so who wants to begin? Just Lorna, if you could tell us about the film's beginnings and why there's a movie in the first place. How did it all come about?
Okay, so I'm an academic at John Moores University in Liverpool, and my whole research area for the last just under 20 years has been supporting children impacted by parental imprisonment. So it's my whole life's work is dedicated to that. And I am the founder of a charity called Time Matters UK that offers direct support for children who have either a mother or father in prison. And then it's really been an ambition of mine for the last several years, I guess, to find a way to educate people about the specific impact of having a mother in prison. I give a lot of lectures, I give a lot of talks, but as we know, the power of film is so much more powerful than somebody, sitting, watching a PowerPoint presentation or reading a journal article. You watch a movie about something, it's going to hit differently. And hopefully my ultimate goal, I guess, is to educate people and change hearts and minds. So I was really fortunate that John Moores University were willing to provide a small grant that enabled us to make this movie, because they could see the educational value of disseminating research through film.
But how did your director writer come on board? Did he have the nucleus of a script, or was it all you bringing it about?
So I know 4 amazing young women. Olivia's one of them. They're all directly impacted by maternal imprisonment, so they were our writer consultants. And a very good friend of mine, Francis Tucker in the UK, who's an actor and a director himself, he recommended David Crowley to us. I was like, I'm looking for somebody who can kind of work with this kind of material and help us kind of pull a script together. And also, I really wanted somebody that was used to working with young people on set. So he was just strongly recommended to us. And then it was really a consultation process between Olivia, Cathlin, Layla and Abigail. Just shout out to all of our amazing consultants and David, who worked together, pulling their life experiences really and his writing and directing experiences into something that would work really for a film. Right. And Olivia, your background is, your story is very close to this film, correct?
Yeah, correct.
And so when you came to the film, was the script already there, or is what Lorna said is that you were instrumental in helping to write the screenplay?
So no, the script actually wasn't there when we first started. I think we had an idea for a while that we wanted to do something quite creative, and it was Lorna who said, this, we always used to say this could be a film, and I always made a joke of, do you know what, you couldn't write the book, and that was my joke, saying, you couldn't write the book, or you couldn't write a movie about this. And Lorna was the one who came up with the idea for the movie, and she got us consultants together. And I think what was really beautiful about it was, with my lived experience with a mother going to prison, I used all that and I fueled that into creativeness and putting my own spin on it and doing public speaking and going different places and trying to break down stigma of intergenerational offending. Just because my mum's being away means that I'm going to go away. So I think the breaking down of stigma was how I went into this. And having that meeting with David, he handled the situation so elegantly, beautifully. How he handled our stories is he put himself in our lens. Nothing we said, I was not nervous to open up to him and say, this is what I've been through, and I weren't scared to say anything. So a lot of the things that were said in the script are a lot of our own words and conversations we've actually had with our mothers. A lot of it is, it is all true. It is all based off all of our stories put together. So everything that's in the script is everything that we've lived, spoken, and our experiences we've all been through as 4 consultants. So he did it really beautifully how we put it together.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the film at its screening. But can you tell me, so is Matilda's character then, is it an amalgamation of the 4 of your stories?
Yeah.
So when you see her, okay.
Yeah.
It's the one character.
Matilda, great performance, and the way you pulled the emotion in, it's not obvious, but me and Kobe was just saying, knowing the background of the film and that you're an amalgamation of a lot of characters, was knowing some of those characters, knowing Olivia, did that help with your performance at all?
Yeah, no, it was brilliant because I knew all the 4 consultants before we'd even started filming. and I knew all their life story, I was able to put myself in their shoes, and like the entire way through filming, because I knew them so well, I went up to them and I was like, oh, I don't want to be cheesy. I don't want it to come across. So I was constantly asking them, like, would this really happen? Like, you know, am I doing this right? But I felt like I could honestly talk to them about it because I knew them so well.
Did you, and I know there's no nepotism here, but I mean the fact that you've been an actor for a while, and then your mom comes in to produce this film, did you have to go through the regular process?
Oh, I had to do 5 auditions because they wanted to make sure that I was the right person for the role, so I had to do auditions where I was crying and breaking down on camera, which is a skill in itself.
Right.
And I had to, I just had to do multiple auditions because I wanted to make sure that I was the right person for the job. If somebody else out there was right for it, then I would of course want them to do the role because I wanted the film to be really good. So if I wasn't the right person for it, then I absolutely didn't mind. But yeah, I had to do more.
It's such a juicy role, though. I mean, let's take all of the real background aside. It's a great role. So as an actor, I'm sure you were hoping, I need to get this. But it's just, I think that you eat up the screen. And again, you're very young, but you've been acting for a while. What's your acting background?
Well, I've been acting since I was about 4 years old. It's always something that I've had a massive passion for. But I started auditioning when I was 11. And I've done a few short films in the past, but I think this one was like the big, like my first big one. It's like the biggest set I've ever been on before. And I got to meet so many wonderful people, not only in the cast, but also in the crew. I absolutely love David Crowley, and the producer, and just the entire team was amazing.
And you're in a really cool acting college in Liverpool at the moment called Rare, aren't you?
I'm in a drama school called Rare, and they are absolutely amazing. So I'm continuously learning there as well.
So you're 17 now?
I'm 17, yes.
Yeah. You play a 17-year-old. You're believable as a 17-year-old, but there's still a maturity to that role.
In the role, I actually play, I think, 13, 14.
Yeah. Although we did shoot a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
but
we shooted in 2024, so.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah. It's good. Life has gone so fast. Wow. But yeah, I know, a big shout out to Rare, Liverpool. And the reason why I want to do that is because one, they gave her permission to be off college to be here, but they are, you know, an enabling professional environment that produce great talent, I have to say. So we're really lucky that Matilda's training with them now.
Olivia, that's the end of the movie for the festival has been cut. There's a really nice vignette of some of the young ladies who have gone through what you've gone through and everything, and that's I think very moving. And you guys have shortened it for film festivals, but Lorna was telling me that you guys might put it back together as a longer piece. How vulnerable did you feel with those real interviews that you did?
I mean, I've always loved being. I'm quite relaxed in front of a camera. It doesn't really faze me that much. I'm very good at because I've done public speaking for so long, I'm very good at being completely authentic. I'm quite vulnerable anyway. But I think it was more of seeing it after it had been filmed and it was edited. I think in the moment, because it was Lorna who was interviewing me, who was obviously originally my support worker, it just felt like really relaxed in a conversation, and David made it really comfortable for that to happen. So I was not nervous being vulnerable. I think seeing it afterwards, because obviously the screening, when we seen it was like a year later, wasn't it? When we had the premiere. And I'd changed a lot in that year, and a lot of things of where it was like, you know, where do you see yourself in 5 years, and you know, you've gone through this, like, where do you want to be at? A lot of my answers had changed, and a lot of how I seen myself back then and how I seen the situation back then changed over the year. And it made me, like, very emotional. I think it was a lot, and obviously because I'm so close to Matilda anyway, to see her play that role.
So you guys are good friends before this started?
I'm actually Matilda's godmother.
Oh,
I'm Matilda's godmother. But Matilda's known me since she was a baby. So
Matilda, you have a 12-year-old godmother? Is it?
Well, not
8. She was 8. Let me come in with the math again.
It's not official.
It's not
official.
It's as official as it needs to be.
We just always say that she's
my
godmother.
I was confused.
It was kind of decided, like, later on, because obviously me and Lorna has known me since I was 8 years old, and because I kept going back to do different things with Time Matters, and I kept going back to, like, I was 15 years of age, a lot going on at home, and I was just going to do these amazing things of, like, going to conferences, doing different things and meeting different people and networking and doing it all with Lorna, that we really bonded and became like family. Lorna became my family. She gave me a piece of what I didn't have at home. So when I turned 18, that's when obviously we became, like, really close friends, and she has always been my family. And there's been a period of time I lived with Lorna for a year. That was last year when I was going through a really rough patch and a really dark patch. If it weren't for Lorna and Matilda, I actually don't know, and Time Matters, I don't know where I'd be right now.
That's amazing.
You definitely wouldn't be in Idyllwild, right?
I'm telling you.
So, Lorna, give us a little more background on the organization. And obviously, this film came about through your work, obviously working with Olivia when she was very young. But tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I set up Time Matters 2017, but I've been working, I always know how long I've been working supporting children impacted by parental imprisonment, because I was pregnant with Matilda at the time, so it's been 18 years. But yeah, the organisation is there for lots of children in Merseyside, although we do get children from out of the area as well, and we offer peer support groups. Most children actually have a father in prison, because it's just more common that your father would go to prison than your mother. So girls or boys that have a mother in prison are the marginalised of the marginalised. But we do lots and lots of support groups, bringing young people together to talk about their feelings and share coping strategies. We provide one-to-one support as well. So every young person is matched with a mentor to help guide them through what is that they want to achieve in life. But I think, as Olivia said earlier, I think we work directly with the UK government about addressing some of the very negative stereotypes about young people, and there is so much stigma and so much assumption around what the lives of these young people will be. And actually, I mean, we just know young people that are thriving in spite of. Right. We're not saying that it's not traumatic to have a parent go to prison. It absolutely is. It's hugely traumatic. But with support and with the right kind of attitude and guidance, young people thrive. But unfortunately, I guess in society, people will have kind of negative
and it's
views.
The same with things like addiction and stuff.
Right.
It's easy to go, oh, look, they're going to be like their father or mother or whatever. But it's in truth, you know, you can actually, with the right guidance, support and all that stuff, like you're saying, be the opposite and sort of really figure out a path of your own that is completely...
Exactly. So I think it's like working with not just directly the young people, but it could be like teachers... or other professionals in the community, helping them,
or other members of the family, like grandparents
or other
foster carers.
I think that's it though, because small minds create small ideas, and when you have things in the media that is being fed to you about stigma about these things, and, you know, making sure the community's safe and we need to do this and this and this, and people feed off that and they read off it, and small communities, small minds, small people create small ideas. So being the bigger person, having them ambitions in your brain to be like, no, this is what I'm going to become. Like, none of my family have ever been to university, and I come out with a music degree. You know, my mum hasn't got a passport, and I've travelled like so many different places. And I think it's that idea of, if we are even just a small percentage, a small amount of people who say one word and it ends up being repetition, Chinese whispers. It gets round to make people realise that there's actually more to this, and these kids aren't just shouldn't be stigmatised, because once them kids see it and see how the adults and the professionals and people working in partnership, how they see it, they're going to have that for themselves in the brain.
Exactly.
So if we show them that actually that's not true, this is what you can actually do.
Yeah, and forge your own path.
Yeah, and they succeed and they do amazing.
100%.
Can I ask you, Olivia, I mean, you say that you're openly vulnerable and you do public speaking about this, but do you have a relationship with your mum? Is she still incarcerated? Is she?
So my mum's no longer incarcerated. We are building our relationship back up, which is amazing. But it's only been like the past 6 weeks that me and my mum have started building a relationship.
That's so recent.
Yeah. So my mum has her own struggles that she deals with, and I think for me, I had to separate myself from that and figure out who I was as an adult. Because I think as you get older, as a female, I get older, your hormones change, you start having them motherly instincts anyway. So in my head, I always used to think, well, I couldn't do that to my own child. So what I had to do is I had to sit within myself and think, why did she do this? Why did this happen? What was she going through mentally? And separate myself from her and figure out who I was as a young adult. And that started to heal a part of me that was like 8-year-old me who had something against her that I didn't realise was there until I got older. And we have them open conversations between each other, and we've been able to rebuild this great relationship, and it's beautiful. Like I love my mum so much. I love her. She calls me doll, so she's like, hey doll, and I'm like, hi doll.
It's really important that you came with these guys, Olivia. I'm really glad you came, because I mean, the interview would still be great, of course, you guys. But Olivia, having you here has just really made the interview for me 100%
thank you so
better.
much.
First of all, Lorna, give me the website of the organization, if you would, real quick.
It's just www.timemattersuk.com.
Got it. Time Matters. Okay.
Timemattersuk.com.
We've got an Instagram and a TikTok as well.
Yeah. Now, I know you guys have had a lot of support, not only funding the movie support, but getting here to Idyllwild. You guys had a lot of support. Yeah, so we're grateful to have you here. So how did it come about, and who were the people responsible?
We do need to say some thank yous.
Yeah, so I just want to say a quick thank you. So on the side of this, I actually won a grant last year from Challenge and Change, which was to fund our next little project. It's a podcast called Voices Unlocked. And I thought, obviously, with this film festival and that girl being screened, and obviously meeting you guys who are absolutely amazing, I thought like we could do a whole segment about like how amazing this festival was and the film festival and that girl being shown. So when we get home, we're going to do a whole episode on this festival on this.
It's like a snowball.
Challenge and Change, when I spoke to them about it, they said the flights could be funded for me to go to get the content and build it together. So I want to say a massive thank you to them. And then obviously,
and then John Moores University again, as if they hadn't already funded the film in the first place. I was like, hi, academic institution, would you like to pay for me? So they paid for my flights and accommodation, and then I paid for Matilda to come. So between us, we kind of muddled it together, and we're obviously like thrilled to be here.
We were getting here one way or another.
But so it's interesting because Liv and I, like, as you can see, we're so actually none of this would be possible without ultimately the consultants and them willing to share their stories.
I want to say thank you so much to the consultants, because without you guys, none of this would be possible.
We wouldn't even have the material.
No.
And the hope to change hearts and minds. So Liv and I, to kind of carry on this theme of changing hearts and minds and educating people, we are doing our own Voices Unlocked podcast. Olivia's emotional. She's just an emotional person.
AI is great these days.
So follow Voices Unlocked pod, by the way, guys, because our very first episode.
And the first one's coming out
in a couple of weeks.
The 12th of March, the first one comes out.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then obviously we're going to record.
They're going to be weekly?
Yeah. So we record 4 in a day, and then the next 4, it's going to be about our experience.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Idyllwild.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that and unpack that, because Well, so far it's been amazing.
This is a film festival, so I'd like to get back to
the
filming
film,
a film, and I want to talk to your actress. All this has been great, though, you guys.
Sorry. We digress. Apologize.
It's all good. I wanted to know about the organization and how it happened, but... So, Matilda, you had mentioned that this was the first time you were on a big movie set.
Yeah.
So the experience for you as a young actor, this is like a big stepping stone for you, this experience.
I know, it was a massive experience for me, like all the camera crew and, you know, even just like sitting in the chair getting your makeup done. It's a whole experience.
Getting up so early.
Because you'd be filming from like 5, like you'd have to be there at like 5 a.m, and you wouldn't leave until like 9 p.m. So it was and it was for a while. So like it was long days, it was like the funniest experience ever. I had like the best experience of my life. I loved it.
I think you learned more in those 4 days.
I think I learned more than I'd been to drama classes my whole life, and I absolutely loved it, but during the filming I learned about like continuity and like camera crew, and like, you know, I just learned so much in that time period. It was amazing.
How much coaching did you take on to do the role? You have acting teachers, right?
I have acting teachers, but I think I just went in and just jumped in at the deep end. I did a lot of research. I obviously talked to the consultant, and I made sure that I knew my lines and all that.
Important.
All that kind of stuff. And I did talk to you mentioned Francis Tucker before.
Yeah.
I did talk to him a little bit because he's obviously a professional actor, and I wanted to know like some of the ins and outs, but most of it I just kind of went, just go for it.
Right.
I think because she's lived, Matilda, I think for context, Matilda has grown up with watching me develop this support group Time Matters, and has attended all the support. So even though Matilda personally isn't personally impacted by parental imprisonment, she's lived and breathed the support groups her whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So her research, I guess,
has been going on for the last 17 years.
Piece of research.
Yeah. It's Kobe, you remember your first big movie? Now, Kobe's done some major productions. Do you remember walking on the set, your first real movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's scary, but it's fun. But then you have to get you have to get thick skin. I remember the first big TV show that I did, and I sat down. My ears, my ears, they stick out. That's just the thing. And I remember being there, and the makeup artist came in and like sitting there and in the trailer, and I was so excited. And they had the look, they had the pictures of what your wardrobe and styling is going to be, and it was a bun, like my hair pulled back tight. And she came in and she looked at my hair and my ears, and goes, "Oh, we can't. So you never wear your hair back?" I was like, what? And then you just have to suck it up and just go out there anyway. So it's fun experiences. It's scary stuff. It's things that you think, oh my gosh, what do I do?
But nobody on a film set has time to be polite or anything but the truth.
Like, what do you mean?
I nearly got kicked off our film set. I was there as one of the consultants, and
you nearly got kicked off.
Honestly, but I think what was great about our film set is, and David, like I said, again, he was just so, like, he allowed us to be on set. And usually, like, I remember a lot of the crew saying, this is like quite unusual for us to like let like consultants and things on set. Like, this doesn't really happen. And I think you were doing a scene, and it was a scene that was held in the kitchen area, and we were like trying to listen in on the stairs, and I think it was me and you, Jack and Will, who were like helping out with the crew, and I think it was nerves.
But you mean you're not like sitting in Video Village?
No,
you're like creeping around.
No, we're hiding on set. We're hiding behind the camera, listening. Lorna's like, shh, and I think it was nerves, and because I knew what scene it was, that like I kept laughing, and then Will and Jack were laughing at me, and I thought David's gonna come out in a minute and say you're banned from set.
How long was the whole shoot?
Do you know what? We had
4 days. Oh, that's what I thought you said. 4 days.
We had 4 days to do the whole to do.
Did that include the interviews at the end?
No, we did the interviews prior.
I was going to say, yeah.
But they were long days. I think I remember my first day. I think I eased into it, but my first day I was in a hyper weird adrenaline state because I didn't know anyone, and I was meeting some of the cast for the first time. I was like, oh, okay, this is, all these new people. But by the second day, I was like, okay. Even after lunch on the first day, I was like, okay, I'm in the swing of things. But the first few hours, I was like, oh, this is a bit nerve-wracking.
And I remember our director saying to me, her strongest, obviously things aren't filmed in chronological order, are they? Right. Which we learnt very fast. But
did you go into it thinking that
well,
it was
I don't know.
Go
I didn't
in order?
really think it through, but it was kind of we're doing all these scenes in this, and then obviously I think we filmed the last.
Yeah, we filmed the last scene at
first. But I remember him saying, in terms of kind of continuity in the way that she was handling everything on set, by day 3 and 4, she was a stronger actor than she was on day 1 and 2, kind of thing. So her growth was steep, I think.
Thank you.
No, it was amazing. I remember seeing her even on the second day, because that's when we were doing one of the middle scenes, which I got really emotional at. I had to take myself away. I was like, I can't do that. And then seeing I come for the last day of filming, when we were in the house, and just seeing how even a professionalism, like she's always had that in the beginning.
Yeah.
But even I was like, I feel like I'm being a bit immature, and like Matilda's being more mature than me, and it's like it's concerning now. But like she smashed it.
So Olivia amazing. Almost got walked off every day.
Yeah, basically I'm not allowed back.
But look, Matilda, it's scary every day, no matter. The first day, I think, is always, and you kind of want it to be, right? It means that it still matters and it's important, and it's like a nervous excitement.
I think
that doesn't go away.
I think if you've got a little bit of adrenaline, I think it's helpful in a way. I think if you're just zoned out, then I think,
And also every project's different. So you kind of, that first day is when you have that unknown thing. You don't really know. I mean, I don't know how well you knew David, but whatever. But that's still that full directing relationship. Everybody else, that's all, day 1 is always day 1. So
that first day, I'd been on a Zoom with David Crowley, but I'd never met him in person.
Exactly.
So
see, there you go.
I was like, oh, hi. Hello.
Yeah. I want to come back to Matilda in 10 years and say, what are your experiences like now after you've got 7-8 movies under your belt? She'll be saying the same things. First day is nerve-wracking. Yeah. Lorna, so I want to give you one more chance to really talk about the organization and all that, because I know you're so deeply involved in so much of it, and you spearheaded this whole thing. So, and I know you've been giving some thanks, but tell us a little bit more about, just the organization and what it means to you to be involved.
Yeah, I think time matters, and has been my whole life's work, really. I kind of I always knew that I wanted to work with vulnerable children. I was going to go into just pure child psychology, and then many years ago I ended up doing some research inside prisons and met lots of mums and dads in prisons, and realised there was very, very limited support for children out there who have a mum or a dad in prison, and just kind of fell into this role of helping young people. And again, Olivia was one of the very, very first children that I actually met who wanted support. So I've also bounced off Liv from a young age of what do children need, what do children want, and the organisation has grown from me asking young people like Liv, what helps, what are you scared about?
So even at 8, you've just been an
She's
integral
been my
part
consultant
of growing the whole
day one, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that is really essential, actually, is to be led by the young people. And because I don't have that lived experience, so I might be the academic and I might be the founder of the organisation, but the people with lived experience are the experts.
Know what that need really
they
is.
Know what they need far better than I do, and I'm leaning into what they tell me helps, I guess. But it's a joy. It's what I find really interesting is that people, when I say I work I help young people who are impacted by parental imprisonment, a really common thing that people say to me is, oh, that's so sad. That must be so sad. And it is sad to see young people upset. Of course, it's awful to see people traumatized. But I can't tell you, there is so much joy in our organisation.
Of course.
Like, you know, you pull 20, 30 kids together, there's going to be joy and happiness and, you know, potential and excitement about the future. So I just feel really, really lucky to do the work that I do. You know, and I'm also really grateful to John Moores for allowing me to kind of bridge that gap between, you know, academia and practice as well.
And I'm going to get back to the film again. So you guys have some nominations, including Matilda, nominated for Best Actress in a Featurette, correct? Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. What other nominations do you guys have?
We have a few. Yeah.
Total.
We have a Best Director and I think a Best International Featurette.
Okay.
There was a nomination for a humanitarian nomination, which we love.
Right.
That is so nice that people see kind of the humanitarian side of the work. There was one for
your cinematographer.
Cinematography.
Yeah, right. Aside from that, do you have a musical? I thought
a music one, an original score nomination as well.
That's what I thought. That's got to be really exciting for you.
It's so, like, honestly, we are, you know, humbled and thrilled, and we just hope that. Yeah, it's obviously it'd be lovely to win an award, but the ultimate goal of the film is to educate people, I guess.
I was just so happy it was nominated.
Yeah, it's an honour. It's truly
massive honour.
It's truly an honour.
Good. I'm glad to hear all this stuff that you guys are getting recognition as filmmakers, as well as for the organization and the subject matter.
Exactly. I know. I'm like, what can I make a film about next? It was like, I've never been a producer, an executive producer on a film before, but yeah, let me tell you, I loved the experience. Obviously, it's about my research field, but I want to do it again. I don't know how, and I don't know in what, you know, but it was just such a brilliant experience.
Like, some of the people we met on set, even in the crew,
we're still friends with.
We're still friends with. Like, there was this one person. He's coming to my 18th birthday party.
Shout out to Will.
Shout out Will. Love you, Will.
No, we absolutely. I absolutely loved the entire experience.
Born out of creativity and desire, the Peak Restaurant and Bar at Talkeet's Pines is a must-see experience for anyone visiting the beautiful alpine village of Idyllwild, California. Featuring a mix of local and international cuisine, the Peak Restaurant and Bar is the centerpiece of the Talkeet's Resort. Set amid gorgeous mountain surroundings and miles of hiking trails, the Peak is unlike any other eatery around. And as an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, the Peak is home of the event's famous Filmmakers Village every year. The Peak Restaurant at Talkeet's Pines Retreat. Come dine with us.
Woodland Park Manor, one of Idyllwild, California's best-known and beloved lodging destinations, is a rustic treat for the casual overnighter or vacation traveller. With its many unique rooms and cottages and that special hideaway feel, Woodland Park Manor gives new meaning to the word relaxation. Nestled among the tall pines and centuries-old oak trees, the manor says Idyllwild the moment you enter the property. As a sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema since year one, all festival attendees are treated like family, because that's what you are to the proprietors. Woodland Park Manor, Idyllwild, California. Book your room now and tell them you're coming for the festival. You will love it.
Idyllwild, California is known for its many quaint shops, but none is more quaint or special than Shala Tea Company in downtown Idyllwild. With a wide variety of regional, international, and exotic blends to choose from, Shala is more than just a tea shop. It's an experience for the soul. As an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, Shala Tea Company offers a discount for all festival badge holders. And what film festival journey would be complete without just the right tea bag in your travel cup? Shala Tea Company, Idyllwild, California. Experience it.
You guys do remember your screening day and times, right?
Yes, it's Saturday morning.
11 a.m.
10.
Is it 10? Oh!
10.
Please
Please
look at
come.
me butcher that.
Please come. We know it's early for everyone, but you'll notice as well with the film, we purposely made it an all-female cast because this is about girls growing up with a mother in prison.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the film's called That Girl, so every single actor in the film, including all the extras, it's a purely female cast.
So Saturday the 7th at 10 a.m. at the Peak Theater?
The Peak
Right.
Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the Peak Theater.
We're going to make sure people come out to see it because I think it's worthwhile for sure.
Yeah, and especially if you're like an educator, I'm really interested in anybody that works in, you know, schools or educate. Well, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, that would be great to see if, you know, how that
nobody
impacted
wants an
you.
empty theatre. Just like...
we were hoping to maybe do like a Q&A afterwards, but I don't know if that's possible.
No, there'll be Q&A. There are always Q&A afterwards.
Okay, perfect.
I appreciate you guys coming all this way. I really do. It's a long trip to come and watch your movie on a Saturday morning, but I'm glad you did.
No, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
The film is called That Girl, and once again, it's screening Saturday the 7th at the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema at the Peak Theater. So once again, thanks for coming out, ladies. All right, that's about going to do it and wrap it up for today's episode of the Stephen Savage Show. I want to thank my filmmaker guests. My first guest, Cathlin McCullough, who was on at the beginning, and her film The Oldest. And, of course, from the film That Girl, actress Matilda Brooks-Jones, and producer Dr. Lorna Brookes. And one of my favorite people now, Olivia, is just amazing. I think you're amazing. Just the fact that you've battled through so much, and here you are, and you're an incredible young lady and doing a whole lot of stuff.
Don't make me cry.
I also want to thank my partner in crime for the film festival, Kobe Connell's here, and she and I are going to be hosting the 17th annual ID Awards, and that's March 8th.
Sunday,
March 8th, also in the Peak Theater. And Kobe, I want to give a shout out to her YouTube channel as well, which is The Kobe Show, and it's a fun show. She reviews movies. She just has a good time doing it. So, at least I hope. And of course,
I do.
And of course, Cash. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
So, for our engineer Maurice Sudo, festival executive producer Trinity Houston, and her entire team, as well as everyone here at Cranium Wheel Studios and the Savage Podcasting Network. And I want to say thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much, ladies.
Thank you.
For over 70 years, the historic Rustic Theater and Entertainment Center in Idyllwild, California, has been the home for movies and live events for all of the communities that encompass the San Jacinto mountain range. And as the forever home of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, the Rustic has played host to some of the greatest indie films from around the world, as well as blockbuster first-run movies and music and comedy events. And the Idyllwild Festival has been proud to call the Rustic its home base since 2010. So, whether you're in Idyllwild for the film festival, hiking or rock climbing, or just exploring the beautiful mountain village of Idyllwild, California, make sure to add the Rustic Theater to your list of must-visit spots. For a beer or fine wine at the Rustic Tavern, a tasty meal from the snack bar, or just a great movie date or family night out, the Rustic Theater and Entertainment Center is the right choice in Idyllwild. Pop in and say hello.
At Pure Bean Coffee, Idyllwild, California's premier boutique coffee house, our passion is roasting the highest quality coffee for the most discerning coffee lovers. Our beans are ethically sourced and hand-selected from the world's finest coffee regions. You will notice the enhanced flavor nuances and low acidity with your very first taste. And as a proud sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, It's our wish to make the best impression possible on filmmakers and attendees from around the globe. So whether it's your first cup in the morning, a midday pick-me-up, or an evening taste of excellence to top off your day, always remember, we at Pure Bean love coffee as much as our customers do.